Good evening, welcome to Germany versus England, Part 1. Bayern Munich against Liverpool. The Germans, you'll recall, made it courtesy of one of those penalty shootouts they're quite good at. In the final of the Champions League, it was the Spanish and Valencia's turn to suffer. Now, you must remember how Liverpool earned their place. That rather dull, scrappy UEFA Cup win against Alaves.
Good run by Gerrard ahead of him. Real chance for Steven Gerrard. It's two. Yeah, unbelievable. A real chance, but it's beautifully taken. And it's Ivan Alonso. And here is Michael Owen again, the goalkeeper right off his line. Oh, he tried to handle it again, and that'll be a penalty. Gary McAllister can restore a two-goal advantage in the final. And it does.
The game is just absolutely I don't think the second half will be as good as the first.
Yeah, how many times do you want to try and turn Jaime Carragher? That's a fine goal! And this time it's Moreno.
Through the wall.
Yeah, unbelievable. McAllister. Fowler coming in from the left. Owen is in space. Fowler hangs on. And scores! Would you believe it? Great! Unbelievable. Yes, what he didn't want. Extra time. Schmitzer. That's a foul by Carmona without any question at all.
He'll go on.
And Carmona will go. They're down to 9 men. 5 Liverpool players to attack the ball. Oh, it's an own goal! It's a golden goal! But what a nightmare for Alaves. Unbelievable.
Myself a bit more of that. Unlikely, I feel. Anyway, tonight Liverpool are chasing their 5th trophy in just 6 months. I'm not even sure these two managed that. Well, they probably did. We'll hear from Alan and Mark shortly, but first let's get a view from some of tonight's real protagonists.
We're very keen on the Super Cup. We'll do our best if we perform, if we play well, particularly. I think we've got a chance. I know that we're playing a very great side, and because the Super Cup is between the Champions League winner and the UEFA Cup winner, so it'll be obviously a very tough and very difficult game for us. But we're quite up for it.
No, I spoke with many French players who play in England, and they told me that Liverpool difficult to play. Manchester had problem last year, and this year again. Arsenal too, I think, and no, Liverpool is a hard team.
I mean, they're in good form and they have a great team, and I mean, it's definitely going to be tough for missing a few guys in this field. And I hope we can get a good result. Of course we're confident. I mean, we're always confident. We think we can get a result without a doubt, and we have a strong team with a lot of great players, and I think we definitely have a great chance to win the game.
I think they'll be favourites. They won the Champions League. Beat Real Madrid, beat Manchester United. Very strong side. Didn't have the best of starts in Germany in the new campaign, but I think they're still favourites. But we fancy our chances, and hopefully we can win the Super Cup as well.
Because we won the UEFA Cup after Porto, Olympiacos, Barcelona, and so forth, and I think playing Bayern Munich in that type of competition is a reward for the club and for the players.
Never normally quite sure how teams are going to play in this competition. It's a little bit like the Euro version of, admittedly, of the Charity Shield, but Gerard Houllier certainly seems up for it, and he's named a strong side.
Well, they've had a great 6 months, and this possibly would be the icing on the cake. And looking for Liverpool to win the match, but more importantly, all the great sides want to improve. Liverpool is still improving. The best way to gauge how much you're improving is against the best. I mean, we had a great time covering the UEFA Cup, and Liverpool and the supporters had a great time. But the Champions League...
You had a great time.
But the Champions League is the place to be, and Bayern Munich won the Champions League. So we'll gauge how strong Liverpool are tonight. They've got a strong team out. Nice to see Steven Gerrard back, because I think he's hugely influential in the middle of the park for Liverpool and for England. Great news for England as well. I don't expect the game to be played at a high tempo. They very rarely are. I don't think it's going to be a classic, but there's enough talent, ability and quality on show just to hope that we're going to see something special.
I think it's just a win-win situation for Liverpool, regardless of the result, because you go into the Champions League. You know, we've had the draw yesterday and the outcome of the group, etc. And all right, Bayern are missing a couple of the influential players, Effenberg and Mehmet Scholl, but even so, just the standard and the difference in standard that Liverpool are going to face in the Champions League. It's, you know, tough games, no matter what draw you're in, no matter what league you're drawn in. And I think, as Alan says, the fact that Gerard Houllier picked a very, very strong side tonight tells you something about his intentions.
Go back to the UEFA Cup, and you know, Roma, Barcelona, they're playing against the best, and Liverpool have shown that they can compete and beat the best. But tonight, even though Mark says there's a few Bayern Munich players missing, again I go back to the fact that Bayern are the best team in Europe. I think it'll be a real test for Liverpool.
Owen and Heskey up front, Owen on fire at the start of the season. It's interesting to see that partnership.
6 goals, I thought it was a misprint. I mean, it was sensational. Since, I don't know if you remember, towards the climax of the UEFA Cup last season, we talked about the rotation system one day at Anfield, about Owen, and saying that he has to play because, you know, everything for him is about goal scoring and pace, and he gets his pace from playing in every game. And I would think if you looked at the last kind of 3 months of last season, obviously the start of this season, he's played nearly every game, and it feels like, I mean, it's obviously not, but it feels like he's scored in almost every game.
He was written off last season for a long time. I actually think he's progressed every year. I mean, the goal he scored in Saturday against West Ham with composure written all over it. I think that at times when he was a bit younger, when he got through, you know, he maybe snatched at 1 or 2 chances, but now when he gets through 1 against 1, he just takes his time, picks out his spot.
Alan, come on. When do we ever write anyone off in this country?
only on a day with a whiny.
I mean, yeah, I mean, people were saying that he was a bit of a has-been, but he's came back, he's answered every question that has been there. And for me, he will get better and better. There's no doubt about it.
What about, it'd be interesting to see Owen Hargreaves today, probably playing in a more familiar position than he did for England the other week.
Well, yeah, and the thing about that as well, he's played 1 game for England out of position and had this massive build-up, and everyone said, he was disappointing and he was this and that and the other, and we all know it takes you at least 10 or 15 games at international level just to find your feet as much as anything. And, you know, poor lad, he's actually played out of position. He's obviously very comfortable in the Bayern team, and he does play in different positions for them, and there's no doubt that, you know, through experience in playing the Champions League last year, semi-final and final, he's come on leaps and bounds. And, you know, with lads of that age, if you throw them in, it's the only way you can tell if he can cope with it. And there's no doubt that he can cope with it, most definitely.
I was talking about being a test for Liverpool, but I think for Owen Hargreaves, as he comes up against Steven Gerrard, it'll be a test for him.
Yeah, well, I suppose a lot of Liverpool's success was actually built on the performance, the defensive performance of the team, and we've pretty much got that. Setting back 4 today.
Strong defensively in every match. They went to Roma, were brilliant. Barcelona were unbelievable. You know, I think that Hyypiä, Ongshaw, good solid defensive partnership. I think that Babbel at right back has been fantastic buy. And the goalkeeper played well in the Charity Shield, so, you know, all to look forward to, and hopefully a Liverpool victory.
I'll put Hamann's name as well in there, Gary. I think, you know, as a protector in front of the back players, he was always outstanding. And I remember Gerard Houllier when he got the job, and he said, you know, if Ongshaw, Hyypiä and Hamann play on a regular basis, then you can judge them, and I think you can do now.
Well, it looks like they're just about to come out that glass tunnel there, so let's join our commentators, Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
And Gary, they'll come out to a very different atmosphere from that the two sides experienced in their respective finals in Dortmund and in Milan. Only 3,500 supporters of the two clubs, 2,500 from München from Munich and 1,000 from Liverpool to support their sides. This is very much part of the weekend of entertainment here in Monaco, the official start of football's European season, albeit some clubs have been battling through what used to be called summer in order to be a part of those draws. We've been entertained all the way through on the evening of what has been a really lovely day in the Principality of Monaco. Very warm, bright sunshine. This very small area on the Mediterranean has been at its sparkling best. And we're now in this very unusual stadium. Not too many pitches are built on the roof of a car park. This Louis II Stade has become the venue for this special fixture to start the season. Danny Murphy and Robbie Fowler, a couple of the substitutes for Liverpool. Once we'll give you the rest of them: Arphexad, Redknapp, Bišćan, Vignal and Jari Litmanen. We'll be giving a check on the starting lineups very shortly. Sami Hyypiä alongside Oliver Kahn, and the Portuguese officials and UEFA official to lead the teams out. Referee Vítor Manuel Melo Pereira. And there's the Kaiser in position. Franz Beckenbauer. And slowly fades away. There's young Hargreaves. Be interesting to see how he gets on. Giovane Élber will know this ground very well. He's at the back of the Liverpool line there, but there are others still to come. Emile Heskey, and the usual idea of involving local youth. Actually, there are 6,000 Monegasques, but they're joined by 25,000 residents in the Principality, drawn from 122 countries. A very special, very expensive, and a home for the rich in this part of the world. It's one of the new signings, Niko Kovač, Croatian, for Bayern. Players will welcome the breeze blowing off the Mediterranean. It's still very warm, although we're 25 to 9 just past, I beg your pardon, just past 20 to 9 on the Mediterranean. Sandro Westerveld reclaiming his place. He didn't take fully part in the practice yesterday evening here. As you can see, entertainment comes first in every style, and it's to be hoped that the football will live up to it. Lizarazu, the Frenchman, at the end of the line. 13 different countries are represented in the lineups. One Englishman playing for the German side, 2 Germans playing for the supposed English side. One Scotsman, there he is, Gary McAllister. Giovane Élber. Michael Owen, hot at the end of last season, hot at the start of this. Long may it continue when he wears the white. So that's the lineup. Bayern includes 7 who started the Champions League final. Scholl and Effenberg are injured. Patrick Anderson has moved on to Barcelona. And among the team, new signings Thiam and Pizarro from Guinea and Peru via Stuttgart and Werder Bremen respectively. And Hargreaves, as you can see, one of the middle 2 in a lineup which is 3-4-3. Coach Ottmar Hitzfeld. There's the Brazilian, Élber, scored against Arsenal and against Manchester United in last season's Champions League matches. Liverpool, only one change from the side which started in Dortmund, and that is the inclusion of Pareira, and he comes in for Danny Murphy. It's a very enthusiastic training session they had yesterday evening, and you would have gathered from hearing from the manager, Gérard Houllier, a few moments ago, that he certainly is keen to win this and add to their reputation going into the Champions League. 7 substitutes for each side. Kuffour, who would normally be a regular starter, and Carsten Jancker, who will be trying to score the goals for Germany probably next week. Well, this man will be trying to keep England out. Portuguese referee, curiously, his last European match was Bayern's 2-1 victory in the second leg of the quarter-final against Manchester United. With me on this warm evening and having enjoyed the sun during the day is Trevor Brooke.
Well, it was a bit too hard just as well the game wasn't played then. I think it would definitely been slow motion stuff, but I think, as the lad said, really, and Liverpool will want to get in the habit of winning games and competitions and trophies, and it's a good test for them, and certainly the strength of the side reflects that. But got really focused, haven't we? Don't get excited when the red shirts are looking as if they might have a chance for 6 playing this evening.
There are many players who may well be involved in Munich next Saturday. Babbel and Hamann playing against an old club. Sagnol and Riese returning to a former home. First free kick is in Bayern's favour. By Gary McAllister, who was the man of the match in the UEFA final. Pipped by Effenberg as being the most valuable player. And yesterday evening's awards. And up by Hyypiä. Covered by Riese. Jaime Carragher back to the Finn. Dietmar Hamann. His goal at Wembley has given the Germans the advantage that they will take into next Saturday's meeting. I have to say that Franz Beckenbauer was very, very confident. Also saying that the second man we saw there, Ottmar Hitzfeld, has no chance of finishing up at Manchester United. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Carragher. I thought that was an offside flag. The official on the far side waited for just a moment. The referees, linesmen, call them what you will, are often criticised for waiting. And they're told that they're late with the flag, but sometimes it's a good thing just to be absolutely certain. As with referees, who sometimes give themselves the time to check on whether they're coming out with the right decision.
Certainly playing the advantage rule has been something really that has been disrupted the flow of games in the Premiership. It's been a feature of the first 2 or 3 games. I would just report the referees really do just wait for those few seconds, because there's a lot of play being pulled back really where the sides in possession have been penalised.
It's the first reasonably tight challenge, and it came from Kovač, third new signing in the Bayern side. And his brother both brought to the club. And it's the younger one, Robert, Croatian, wearing number 12. It's in the starting lineup. They're together at Hertha Berlin and at Bayer Leverkusen, and now they're back together again for Bayern. And the clear break. Heskey makes a run on the near post and doesn't make it count. But Bayern really got caught then.
They just went to sleep on the long throw. Michael Owen, actually, I think, look, it goes over the top. Oh, Heskey then ahead of everyone because he's not offside from the throw. An early cross then and he probably then would have had more space to go into. Just hesitating, Michael Owen, I think, then just enabled it to get it cut out on the near post. I thought he might actually go on and have the shot himself, but I'm surprised at the sloppiness at the back from Bayern Munich.
Playing three at the back. Start, Kovač has just got there. Play by Thiam, shot by Hamann. Well, let's hope that's a practice for next Saturday.
Fast systems, of course, Liverpool very much playing their 4-4-2. Two wide people, Risa and Gerrard, and perhaps not necessarily attacking wide people, although Gerrard motors forward and Risa can play left back. And I think their selection is more a reflection on the wing backs of Bayern Munich. Lizarazu got the ball now on the left and Sagnol on the right. Very key elements of the attacking play at Bayern.
Both those two Frenchmen, of course. Good cover by Risa. Willy Sagnol. To remind locals how he used to play. And there's Monaco. The best of shots by Ciriaco Sforza, Swiss. Second spell with Bayern Munich. Scored when he came back for the first time in 6 months against St. Pauli in the Bundesliga in their last match, and made the other one for Élber. But he's said not to be the most popular man in the dressing room, and that's applied with a number of clubs. Beautifully up by Heskey, flag out by the assistant on the far side. It's easier for Bayern to find more supporters here. It's holiday time in Bavaria. Sometimes forgets that Germany is a federal country. And they tend to share the time out in terms of holidays for farmers and factories and so on.
Élber there, just robbed by Oncho. A good through ball by Hargreaves. I think certainly one of the centre midfield players this evening will be much happier there than out wide as he was for England. Bayern Munich tending to play three at the back, and then sort of the two wing backs, two alongside them in the centre, and then sort of three up, although the two wide people will almost make a little reverse V really in the shape, and then they join as an attacking three when they're getting in forward.
Touch from Gerrard, who'd made his most far forward movement prior to that. Also, who held onto the ball. Liverpool certainly very keen to get on with it, enjoying winning trophies. By Hyypiä. Stretch. I don't think Heskey will make that, however hard he stretches. British clubs have had 6 wins in this competition and 5 losses. 27th playing at the Super Cup. And hasn't been too successful in Monaco for the holders of the Champions League. It's the 4th time Champions League side had yet to win the Super Cup here. Actually 13-all between the winners of the European Cup, and what was the Cup Winners' Cup and now is the UEFA Cup. Remember that just the Cup Winners' Cup Winners' Cup Winners' Cup shield? Well, this is the sort of shield. Arin. Alistair just unable to link with him. Élber, the Brazilian. 2 in the box. That's the Vesterveld. No problem. Thiam got there first. Thiam, beginning, 27. in 3 from Stuttgart. Riza. Carragher. Owen. Briefly in behind, the free kick on the edge of the box. Given against Robert Kovač. Crowd thought it was inside. Referee's right. Owen fell inside, but the untidy challenge was out.
Line just accelerating the wrong side of the defender. It was tugged back on the shoulder. Certainly was outside, but just bounced up unkindly. They had to wait for it, and that gave chance for Kovač to cover back.
Canister having a good look, and he might just be able to kill this round the two-man wall. Looks for the pass instead, which finds the header from Markus Babbel.
There's always dangerous set pieces, but just has to come back out. Just falling back, then gets underneath it and can't keep it down. Even Gerrard just behind him.
Scored the opening goal in Dortmund, you may remember. Rather poor clearance, matched by a rather poor pass. Thiam, nicely balanced, bouncing a bit. It's not the greatest pitch in the world. It's surprising that it's open at both ends, deliberately, well, particularly at one end. Hamann's challenge. Brazilian ride, free kick. Sport for the take. He'll do all the set pieces, taking over from the injured Effenberg. Well, if he goes on like that, he might not.
The best of balls either. That one was it from Sagnol. Mentioned the defence, sort of considering they didn't see that many goals. Always looked very solid, and it's a bit of a surprise to changes at the back. Certainly, Patrick Anderson wasn't the quickest on the turn. Perhaps Kovač coming into him. I must say, the person on the bench, Sami Hyypiä, I always thought was an excellent player, but Thiam at the moment seems to be ahead of him.
There's also intent by Ottmar to give a little bit of a European experience to one or two before the campaign starts again, as they defend the title they won and they waited 25 years for, to make it 4 European Cup successes and thereby match Liverpool. There is Hitzfeld. I'm not too happy. Difference in height between Owen and Kovač looks as though it's worrying Kovač a bit. Not to mention a little thing called pace.
Yeah, I think Kovač is, as you could see with that indication, is just getting a little grip on Michael's shirt to make sure he keeps alongside him rather than let him get away.
Lizarazu on the left. Pizarro trying to work something with him. And Salihamidžić is in the middle of the sandwich, the Bosnian. And stick on, but it didn't fall to another Bayern player. Get there first, not a bad policy against the guy who's quick. Applying that rule, and played Brazil before the World Cup in Mexico. And the trouble is, when it came to the real thing, he tried to do the same and found that Pelé was standing on his foot. Babbel. Challenged by Salihamidžić. Almost. Particularly comfortable defensively, to put it mildly. Hargreaves sorting it out.
That's a good header from Risa, but yeah, it was just really behind the Liverpool players running through, and sort of panic station, wasn't he? He should have got a call from Khan. He could have let it just go and have kept possession rather than just whack it up in the air.
Sforza. Thiam. Free kick. Oh. And a yellow card comes out. And shown to Dietmar Hamann, and the yellow cards go forward to the European competition.
I think it's just the fact he tackled from behind. He did wrap his legs around him. It was a clumsy challenge. There was no specific danger. And don't really want to pick it up that early into the game, which is a quarter of an hour played.
Three forward. Well cleared. Jaime Carragher. Much more comfortable in the position he's playing tonight. The one he was asked to occupy against Holland. Okay. Pizarro. From Peru.
Emile Redknapp had a run out in the week. I think everyone's delighted to see him back in action.
Certainly. Scored a goal too, didn't he?
Yeah, so just gradually getting going to have to be patient to get back into this Liverpool team, but just needs some match fitness behind him now after so long, several months out.
Thiam. Robbed by McAllister. Risa. Slightly nervous start from young Risa.
Mentioned Risa, he upset the hierarchy a bit, didn't he, when he played on the left side of midfield one of the pre-season games, and said he doesn't like playing there. His best position is left back. I don't think that was too appreciated having just joined the club, but I was just reminding him who's the boss of him also, because he's playing there in their game this evening. Actually, I thought he did well in the Charity Shield. Got a mammoth long throw as well if he ever gets the chance this season.
Played the second half against your lot.
It came on. Certainly, Jaime Carragher came over on the right back spot because Babbel went off, and he did okay. And it certainly gets forward well, and I think certainly left back is his better position. It's much better coming from the deep position than sort of in midfield when you've got your back to the attacking goal and you're then left happy receiving the ball.
I suppose everybody would know that your lot is West Ham. They must be new to the game. 11 aside and Bayern are in red. Pizarro. Space on the left for Lizarazu. Sforza. It's not, it's Salihamidžić. Sforza is behind, here he is. Hargreaves. Whacked away by Carragher. Challenge. Lizarazu. Hamann. His whistle came after Harman had caught the ball. That's a bit unkind for Owen. Élber. Great tackle. That's Sami Hyypiä. Hargreaves who felt it. Pizarro. Pizarro again. Good stretch this time by the Finn.
Plenty of key players in the side, but Hyypiä over the last 12 months just, I think, one of, if not the most crucial. He was magnificent last weekend as well. Michael Owen playing well. Certainly Hyypiä is the key man. Liverpool are going to stay in contention in all the trophies this season.
More than every match so far this season. In fact, it's his 55th consecutive game. Linker, playing against England probably, and in that position. Whether left of the centre of midfield or wide remains to be seen. There are three at the moment on the left side. On the right here, it's Robert Kovač. Far away, Sforza. Thompson getting a lot of exercise for both leg muscles and larynx. Oh, sure. A bit lucky, Lizarazu. Élber. Sforza. Hargreaves is behind him. While with the ball in a sitting row. There is the England youngster. He's Beckenbauer supporting what Bayern manager said. I think it was too early for him to be playing at international level, full level. Certainly not too early for this man, Michael Owen. He's got two choices in the box with him, and Liverpool have the opening goal on a clear breakaway. And how nice for John Arno Risa that he comes back to his former home and scores for his new club. 20-year-old couldn't ask for it better, maybe 21 pretty shortly too.
Great ball from Steven Gerrard, releasing Michael Owen. This time, one touch and then he knocks it early. You see this, then space. Is he going to get Heskey? No, it bypasses him. He gets a second man. Knocks it in. They come onto it. Just slides in at the back post. Again, the pace of Michael Owen. Taking him clear. Breaking down the offside trap. But initially, it was a great ball from Steven Gerrard. Released him.
Goal in the 23rd minute.
Risa might enjoy the left side of Vítor a bit more now.
Well, in practice last night, he and Carragher were linking really well down the left side, but admittedly in a 7.5 minute each way match over a shorter pitch, but it was very entertaining, and the management of Liverpool were impressed with what they were watching. also Liverpool's only summer signing. But in fact, be 21 years old a month today. Callister. Owen. No foul. Élber has got behind Hyypiä. Just, I think, flicked off the heel of Hyypiä as he tried to take it behind the pin.
Terrific ball over the top. I'm sure if it had been the other side and his left foot, he'd have just taken it in his stride and hit it with it. But I think he tried to get it back on his favoured foot, but it was an excellent ball. I think it was Salihamidžić who clipped it over the top, some 50 or 60 yards. Just caught a little bit square, but that was the first, perhaps, half an opportunity for the Bayern team.
Heskey. Carragher. Owen. Osho. Hasn't really met up with Sforza yet, his international colleague. Oh, it's beautifully taken by Owen, because it was really strongly hit the pass. But he's certainly making his presence felt, isn't he?
It looks terrific at the moment. So sharp and movement. Good, excellent ball game by Steven Gerrard. Looked like on the shoulder, wasn't handball. And he appealed. Kovac, these guys had better come in. Prices him into the tackle. Just so ends it. That's the big thing he's improved right now. And he goes on his left side far more now. I remember a year ago saying he was reluctant to go on his left side. He's really worked hard at that. Gerard Julio was remarking on it last weekend.
Not a comfortable clearing header. Great turn, and Khan makes a good catch. And make sure that his presence is felt in every sense as he gets up. Got really intertwined. Voted the best goalkeeper in Europe for the third time. Twice consecutively German Footballer of the Year, last 2 seasons. And the whole wage structure of Bayern Munich is based on what they're paying Oliver Kahn. So if they want young Deisler, they might have to raise the goalkeeper's salary as well as the creators.
He's worth every penny, I can assure you. The last few years of watching in Europe, he's been quite fantastic, and now he is somebody they've got to overcome England next week.
Game looking long for Owen, some a bit too long. Linker who came across.
Liverpool got Fowler and Litmanen on the bench. I've got a feeling that Michael Owen, as sharp as he looks, he won't play the whole game. In fact, he's sprinting around. Suggest that perhaps both strikers might come off at some stage, because it's a very sticky and muggy evening, but certainly Michael Owen looked superbly sharp up to now. Don't want to jeopardise that entry.
Match across Bolton on Monday. It's absolutely ludicrous that that should be the case. So much depending on the Saturday. Such is the crowded fixture list. But it is Liverpool starting off as they ended last season. This is their 5th match in 17 days. I would have thought that was well won, but still, referee gave the free kick against Gerrard.
Got the ball, but that's why he's also that side, Gerrard, just to look after Lizarazu if he drifts forward in those attacking situations.
5 Bayern players in the box. That was from Thiam.
Far enough out, Babbel just behind him, putting him under sufficient pressure. Off the top of the head, no danger.
It's only Sander Westerveld's 2nd match of the season. He played in the Charity Shield, and so I've got some sympathy for Pegguy Arphexad, who might have thought he was going to get a chance to play in his home country. bench last season, Arphexad no fewer than 49 times. Played a couple of League Cup matches. Élber. Pizarro. Nice sprint one way and go the other. Lizarazu. Salihamidžić. Not the easiest name in the world to pronounce, and I say it's a name that when you say it like that, you should be looking for in the second round of the singles at Wimbledon rather than on a football pitch. But, he's a good player.
Just offside there, Heskey. Didn't they play through at the back? They play pretty flat, don't they? He is just offside there, but 2 or 3 occasions Mike Owen has exposed that, and perhaps because they've got 1 or 2 new faces, not quite working in unison.
Reza. Nobody there.
I think actually he was thinking about the shot, to be honest. He just sat up nice and he was going to go for a dipper, and then the stretch came off the toe and decided let's try and cross it. Somebody might be coming in on the far side, but there's no one, not within 30 or 40 yards very much. Perfect situation out of Liverpool when we watched them in Europe last year so much. I mean, they defend so well, get everyone goal side. They've got the 1 goal now, and it's up to Bayern Munich to have to work very hard to try and get level.
Sforza. Lizarazu. Élber. Good header again by Hyypiä. Hamann. Heskey. Uses backside well. Owen! Beautifully played forward. Can't off his line. And Owen's going to get a second bite, but he won't get a third. Sheer presence. Vítor Schmeichel right. Big man in front of Owen. And Owen looking to see if he could make him pay for having come so far. But he couldn't.
They did well. Khan stood up, but the pace of Michael Owen just took him away from Kovač. Took 3 or 4 yards out of him in the first 15, and one-on-one, and just thought about the options, and in the end just actually tried to knock it, as you say, lift it over Khan. He's a big figure, hit him, so I suppose on the one-on-one at the moment Oliver Kahn will be ahead, but look at him then. Suddenly he's alongside of him, toe-ended it, thought about the chip shall I go around him, couldn't come inside him and just tried to lift it. You can see him getting underneath it, didn't get the height, almost hit him on the chin. But again, exposing that flat back division of Bayern Munich.
Thiam. Into trouble at Pizarro. Jancker. Also failing to find Gerrard. Gerrard not too impressed with the pass. Hargreaves. Lizarazu. Markus Babbel for company. Sagnol. Former Monaco players together. They left earlier. Started the final. That's a good header, but it's wide. Élber.
Good player, Élber. A bit moody at times and flips in and out again, but got a lot of talent. 1 or 2 good crosses already in that time. The header just skimming off it. The rest of them putting his hand up, and always going wide. But Élber, the best of their attacking players, and who had a good run in the last couple of years.
either end of the ground, but by and large those in the seats are pretty somnolent, it seems. Seats in the main stands opposite and where we are. Pizarro's made the forward run. Hargreaves.
Heskey chasing back a partner with Michael Owen through the middle this evening. Of course he can play on that left role, so Joran gives him the opportunity. Certainly with England needing to win that particular game, I'm sure an attacking player will be required on the left side.
Forward by McAllister, or cut out by Thiam. Owen got between him and Kovač. And looking for Owen, brushed away by Linker this time.
I suppose that's one way of stopping him. He's the only outlet because Emile Heskey is dropping deep more often than not, and you know, they're holding that three at the back, but just need to time it perfectly. Otherwise, as we've seen, they're getting all sorts of trouble.
McAllister. Youth and experience, and the foot of McAllister was stretching a bit. A few stubs were showing. The man who came down as Hargreaves had been passed. Kovač. Pizarro.
That third one that high. The shooting's not being the greatest from the Bayern team at the moment. Still an attempt fate.
It's the open end of rounded columns. It's an attractive looking arena, but it's curious for football. And small as far as the crowd is concerned.
Has of course got the running track here, and there's an even bigger gap from the running track then to the seating, so you are a long way from the action.
Difficult to imagine, Trevor. You'll be there. A greater contrast between this and the Olympic Stadium in Munich coming up Saturday.
Well, I'm sure that the players can't wait. I think it's going to be such an occasion.
Thiam. Ball spending rather a long time in the air, but misjudged by Lisa. Oh dear. Well, Sagnol ought to know this ground. It's rather better than that shot suggested that he does.
Actually chested it down well, and Élber picked up a good position between the two central defenders, but badly overhit. Bit of frustration from his manager, not impressed.
Well, they're already out of the League Cup. They lost to Hertha Berlin. They've been beaten by Borussia Mönchengladbach. Mönchengladbach just promoted to the Bundesliga again. Side that Liverpool began their European journey against. And won the first European Cup. 1977. Brought back in the UEFA.
The former team are Borussia Dortmund, and they're actually in Liverpool's group now in the Champions League.
First away match for them. They'll be back in the Westfalen Stadium after a home game against Boavista.
Great tackle just now by Steven Gerrard, who just sort of shoved back on the floor as he got up, but it's good to see him back in action and being competitive and setting up the goal also.
3 out by 4. Too much support from midfield for Bayern. And that rather proved the point. Nobody coming in wide at all. Sagnol was deep. Owen keeping 2 for company. Hamann. Heskey. Kovač invited to go away by the referee, having been pushed in the direction by Heskey.
Bit of a mismatch, but Kovač likes a bit of manhandling, done a bit on Michael Owen, and again there just nudging and shoving, bit of shirt pulling now. Heskey. Heskey's a bit bigger, and Michael Owen decided to just let him know what he thought.
Last 5 minutes of the opening half. Owen.
Kovač was pulling the shirt of Michael Owen all the time. A good header by Heskey. Michael Owen then trying to get between the 2 defenders. Had his shirt tugged twice and still thought he could get in there, and in the end tumbled over, but certainly proving a handful.
Easy for the Croatian. Incidentally, was born in Berlin. Kept his father's nationality. Sagnol. Sforza. Hyypiä once again. In fact, it was all show in the right place at the right time.
Looking at the Bayern bench, we've got players like Jancker, Zickler, Santa Cruz, who could come on to give them a few more attacking options if we're going to get back in this game.
Lizarazu fancies it. Like everybody else in the red shirt, gets the shooting role.
I've got to say, that was probably the lowest of about 4 very high ones. At the sort of stand behind the goal with those arcs are so far back that it's not going to go outside the ground. But you can see a lot of physical nudging and pulling going on there. In the end, the 2 against 1 out.
Foul. With an arm in the face of Henchoz. Backed into as well. Lisa. Hyypiä. It's a good covering header needed to be, and it was Gerrard who got forward, and Lizarazu who just got his head there.
Good little contest, that pairing. Lizarazu, outstanding fullback. A terrific player, particularly getting forward, but showing also you don't ignore your defensive duties, and Gerrard just thought he might get the wrong side of him.
Pizarro. Another fine tackle by Hyypiä.
It's a terrific interception. The time, I mean, he's strong and powerful, but just reading of the situation is superb.
Hargreaves on the right, but no chance of collecting that. Wasn't quite sure where that had gone. Hyypiä. Carragher. Westerveld. Played by Heskey. Heskey. Through the gap, can't to meet him. Beautifully played, Emile Heskey. 2-0 to Liverpool.
What a great goal, out of nothing there. And it was Kovač and Jancker just the caught flat-footed. Just the pace and power there of Emile Heskey on the half-turn. Between the two defenders, yes, thanks very much. Off I go. Leaves them for pace. Down comes out, just flips it over them. Terrific finish. Yeah, looks up. Just a little dink with the left foot. And Owen and Heskey on fire, aren't they? 2-0, Bayern Munich on the rack.
Beautiful finish. The man at the other end, very impressed. And Liverpool, in a quiet, authoritative way, very impressive, with 2 goals at half-time, scored by Riese and then by Heskey.
Well, I think, you know, excellent performance. Hyypiä has been superb at the back, but for me, the 3 England men will a lot of encouragement for next week. Michael Owen's been terrific. Gerrard's done very well in midfield, set up, released the pass that sent Owen down to cross it for Riese, and then Heskey then at the end of the game there of this half, then given the second goal, the cushion they wanted, and it's been an extremely professional performance.
At lunchtime, Franz Beckenbauer was very confident about Germany winning next Saturday, having seen Owen and Heskey in that half. I wonder whether he's feeling quite so comfortable about it. 2-0 to Liverpool at half-time. So the players out, the substitutes as yet not involved, although 3 German players, the other Kovač brother, Jancker and Kufor, all seem to be ready to come on at an early stage of the second half. Referee waiting the cue. Germans waiting to win this competition. They've had 6 attempts and they've failed every time. Leading twice by their representatives tonight, Bayern Munich. And eventually, away we go. He's joined us late. Tell you that Liverpool lead by 2 goals to 0, and they are the team in white. And here is Michael Owen with a chance to make it 3, which he does immediately. What about wanting a 2-0 score at half-time to England? A goal at the start of the second half like that would be choice. Michael Owen, 13 seconds into the second half.
Well, what a mistake, Thiam, it was. Right over the top. Look, he's going to head it. No, I've just misjudged that. Michael Owen says, thanks very much. One touch with the right, and with his left foot, just tucks it in the corner. There's Khan come out. Dreadful defending, but let's give credit to Michael Owen. Could have been a lost cause for a few forwards, but he gets the wrong side, takes his chance, and that's a dream start, isn't it?
His 7th goal of the new campaign. This is his 4th match. You may recall he ended last season with 9 goals in his last 6 appearances. So small mathematical test makes that 16 in his 10th match.
I think media got to pick a man of the match. It's going to be a difficult decision, isn't it, this season?
Liverpool have won this trophy before. Back in 1977, they beat Hamburg 7-1 on aggregate, getting a 6-0 drubbing at Anfield. Tony McDermott got a hat-trick that night, and Peter Thompson, Liverpool's assistant manager, was Phil Thompson, I beg his pardon. Peter Thompson, going back a bit further. Phil Thompson was on the score sheet.
I can remember both of them, I've got to say. But 3-0 now, and I'm sure well, we're going to get Liverpool substitutions. I would have thought Michael Owen, wrap him up in Tottenham and take him off. Emile Heskey as well, probably Steven Gerrard. I wouldn't think all of those 3 at some stage will get a rest, and the likes of people like Redknapp, Litmanen, Murphy, even perhaps Robbie Fowler will come on to replace them. Bayern Munich will be hugely embarrassed by this. The manager will not be happy. They've not started well. This is not a scoreline they wanted to take from this game.
Not much from the Brazilian. Élber. Well, they really haven't looked a good side at all. And Liverpool had. Look at that touch on the instep. And, it's almost a slight delay, and Khan this time was not in control of the situation in any way.
Now, 6 to 8 months ago, Mike Lowen would have been much more warier of that left foot. But Gerard Houllier talking last weekend, and he worked a lot on it in training, and you can see his confidence now when he's taking people on. He's quite happy to go outside on his left foot, cross the ball with his left foot, finish with his left foot. It makes him such a more dangerous player, but added to his pace. He is just at the moment at the peak of his form.
Forward by Hargreaves. The would-be recipient, Sagnol, got ball and Carragher at the same time. Élber. Pizarro is in the middle. Here's Owen again. Look at Gerard chasing. In the end, he just peeled away. But they weren't quite on the same wavelength then, Owen and Heskey. And Liverpool warming up. Murphy, Redknapp and Litmanen. Thiam. Bayern Munich won the European Cup. Previously, they won it 3 consecutive years. They'll need to improve things a little bit before they start their campaign against Sparta Prague. '74, '75 and '76 they won it. '74 they needed a replay, in days when there were replays against Atletico Madrid. But they were more than a little lucky against Leeds in 1975, and also lucky against St Etienne in 1976, in particular because the David Ginola of the time, one Dominic Rocheteau, wasn't fit. Robbie Fowler's fit tonight, wants to come on, that's clear. Offside. Gerard Houllier gets to his feet, so does Phil Thompson. I think the changes will be pretty imminent. Linker. Hasn't been any sort of linker at the back, is there, among the defenders of Bayern? Salihamidžić gets cut out by Dietmar Hamann. This will be on the other side next Saturday week, not tomorrow. And Pegguy Arphexad, is he going to get a chance too? Well, frankly, Trevor Brooking could have played in goal for what Westerveld's had to do so far.
Did he? But I've got to say, yes, Hyypiä was outstanding in the first 45 minutes. In the second half up to now, Liverpool haven't actually extended. So I think even the stadium was stunned into silence with, 30 seconds of the second half to get the 3-0 then. It's just a scoreline that you just know Bayern cannot possibly get back, and it's reflected in their sort of edgy, nervous play. The brother, Kovač. Wonder what he thinks of Robert just probably talk him through that, but certainly being total misunderstanding that trio, Linker, Thiam and Kovač, certainly a new formation, but struggling for pace, struggling for understanding.
That's already the highest score they've had since the fixture moved to Monaco. Last one to score 3 were Juventus against Paris Saint-Germain. That was back in '97. Cut out by Babbel, but he set up Pizarro. Salihamidžić. Pizarro again without shooting boots, a little hurried.
Challenge by Ancho, they don't want to concede a goal. Defensive pride, little opening, should have got it on target at least. Certainly the attack has not been great. I would have thought a couple from the likes of Jancker or Santa Cruz should have out to be coming on. There's certainly a huge frame of Jancker.
Westerveld in no hurry. Collins at the far end now from Westerveld. Didn't have to defend them in the first half. Away by Linker. Very threatening again. Free kick to Bayern Munich.
Terrific header, nearly into the stride of Michael Owen. Certainly the partnership has worked well.
Hamann. Carragher, Risa forward on the left side. Good ball by Carragher, nicely swept on. A canister in the box. Corner. Risa maybe one turn too many.
It's been a good addition though, Risa. Ken playing that left back, as I say, playing left side of midfield, scored a massive long throw, but he's a natural left footer and this gives them that little outlet that perhaps they did on occasions last season.
Hyypiä on the line. Owen and Babbel in the 6-yard area. A push and shove between Pizarro and Hyypiä. Perfectly legitimate, as Jack Charlton will tell you, to stand in front of the goalkeeper. And Khan comes, punches down rather, and a free kick given. Most likely outcome. You tell me where the foul was there.
Sympathetic free kick, I think. Certainly Khan doesn't need any protection. He's big enough and strong enough to come through a few defenders with a punch away. Not the best of punches, but as you say, the whistle has gone, I think, just about as he was going to go for it.
Playing his 80th game in European competition. Lisa again. Owen on the penalty spot. Oh. Stake by Lizarazu. Not the player of the French side that we're seeing this evening. And Steven Gerrard puts the verdict against him. Nicely by Hargreaves to Salihamidžić. It's corner. And we make that Bayern's first. And we're in the 12th minute of the second half. Albert Seal will be on the phone quickly. Oh, that's a beautifully taken goal. Salihamidžić makes it 3-1. Fine header. Well, Arsenal will tell you about Bayern coming back when the match seemed to be won. You said no chance, Trevor.
I've got to stick to that now, haven't I? It's not been defended. It's a sort of, you've got plenty there, haven't you? And, well, it's just a crowd of people. I think it was Oncho who probably was the nearest man, but he certainly had a lot of space. Risa on the line. Couldn't get to it. Westerveld put his arm up whether he thought it was going over it, but it didn't, under the crossbar. Well, it makes it a bit more interesting.
Interesting the way the German public address announcer, each country is represented by their usual man at their home ground, and he just went for the first name and let the German crowd pronounce the second. Reset. Struck it well with the left. It was churlish to say that there was an opportunity to hit it with the other foot and probably had a better angle. But most players fancy one or the other, and quite clear that the young Norwegian is a left-sided player. Free kick for the challenge on Élber.
Did well. The header just took it beyond Jaime Carragher, where there was a little clip. I thought they actually attacker might have fancied his chance. Yeah, just clipped his heels. It was accidental.
Well, they're going on the end of the wall for Bayern players. Linker and Thiam, Salihamidžić and Pizarro trying to find some space behind the wall, to the left of the wall.
I think Lizarazu will have the shot, just cuts to the side with it.
Gets deflection, and Hyypiä reacts to get it out of harm's way. Not a great strike.
Yeah, I think it took a deflection and took it to Hyypiä. Now, can they defend a bit better than a couple of minutes ago?
Another corner. Off the head of McAllister. Élber got to it. Thiam comfortably keeps it in. Lizarazu quickly back. Almost a bit too quickly and rather too low.
But just about a few minutes, a bit of extra zip in their stride, and we just sense a second goal, and Liverpool could get a bit nervous. And as we say, 3-0, the pride was hurt, and they were desperate to get a little bit of something back. They've got the one goal, and you can just see they've moved up a little gear.
Here's Owen. He's got more gears than most. But unlucky. Risa comes up with the pass.
Right, I thought he was passing to himself there. Risa didn't quite have that extra gear.
Pizarro. Heskey came up on the arm. Scorer. Lizarazu. Linker. Formerly with Schalke, where he won the UEFA Cup. Now, of course, he's won the Champions Cup. Since coming to Bayern, he's been a regular in the German national side. 31 now. Offside for Brazilian, Élber.
Well, just putting on the first shirt for Liverpool sub is somebody we haven't mentioned, Bišćan. He actually played for an hour against West Ham last weekend, but he's the first to be putting on the shirt. Gerrard, I suppose, would be the direct replacement, just coming on the right-hand side of midfield, perhaps.
Suggests a change of mind, because he wasn't among the original players to warm up. Good forward run. And once again, Hyypiä gets his foot there first. Header Sforza. First substitution is imminent, and the Portuguese referee allows Liverpool to make it. Igor Bišćan alongside his manager. Jancker and the older Kovač brother are about to come on too for Bayern. Good running by Gerrard, nicely played down the line. Early ball in. Corner conceded by the younger Kovač.
Perhaps you saw Bišćan warming up. Steven Gerrard wondered if it was going to be him, so he had his last surge. You can see Michael Owen at the back post. Got to say, Oliver Kahn was coming out, he would have taken the cross. He anticipated it, and you can see the disappointment.
Carragher as ever. Good header out by Pizarro. Carragher. Lisa. Good challenge by Pizarro. You're putting himself about a bit, rather more than in the first half. Élber in the middle, but won't get that. Played Thiam. They allowed him a little advantage. He might have given a free kick against Heskey. Sforza. Second time in possession of the Bosnian. Salihamidžić finds Linke. Behind the ball at the moment for Liverpool. Now the incursion leaves Heskey and Owen out of it. Hargreaves might have a crack. Threatened to, and Salihamidžić. That's the shot that goes away from the far post. And the first substitution is to see the end of the demands upon Steven Gerrard for the evening. And the manager will approve of that.
He's had an excellent workout, hasn't he? Been very well down the right hand side. It should be a straight swap with Bišćan, but that was excellent to see Steven Gerrard playing so effectively, and he certainly seemed to get stronger and stronger as his hour went on.
And Claudio Pizarro, the Peruvian, is replaced by Carsten Jancker. Good man from Mecklenburg. The final substitution sees Niko Kovač come on in place of Sforza.
And that's a straight swap. Kovač going alongside Hargreaves in the centre, and plus Jancker through the middle with Élber, but they've got one header from the set piece, and they get some decent crosses in. Jancker will be a handful anyway to stop getting a second header.
First touch on the deck. Niko Kovač. 3.6 million from Hamburg cost. Carragher got a good foot in there. Free kick. A little push favour.
Jancker give him a little nudge with his feet when he was on the floor, saying, come on, I got the ball there, and I think he did actually. A bit of a late tumble.
We're about to see Danny Murphy too, I think. Heskey. Back from Owen, and a bit of push and shove on Lizarazu. Yeah, it's a little exchange that the assistant referee brings calm to. Thiam for Bayern.
I think Lizarazu's got every reason to query that one.
The match at its most competitive stage in many senses. Hyypiä. McAllister, good chest. Hurt Hamann a little bit. Heskey to chase, trying to get ahead of Linker. Linker did well. Now Babbel and Salihamidžić getting involved. But just a rubbing of shoulders, no more. And off comes young Risa. Giving way to Danny Murphy.
Just carrying a little bit of a knock, perhaps. Straight swap again, Danny Murphy going on to the right. Direct replacement on the left of midfield. Just means, I would have thought Mike alone perhaps could do with the third substitution, having a little break, especially if he suspected one to include him against Bolton on Monday night.
Hamann. Carragher. McAllister. Still McAllister! Just one extra touch there that he didn't really want. But up to that point it was delightful. Sias went away from it. Lizarazu. Sagnol. Jancker. Goal kick.
This is Gary McAllister. Nice little chest, one touch, little toe ender, then past Thiam, who's had a pretty torrid evening. Just that last touch he perhaps could have done without, could have hit it just about after that toe end, I think, now, but he took the extra touch and good defended in the end by Kovač for a change.
Lizarazu. Usual string of announcements. And for the PA, it's young Roque Santa Cruz who's going to come on. That's another nationality. Off goes the Bosnian, and on comes a Paraguayan. But a Paraguayan of considerable talent. Fine spotted when he was playing in the Under-20 World Cup and then in the Copa America in '99. It's a major factor in Paraguay making the quarter-finals. First touch not quite what he would have wished for.
So you gave him the big build-up there, he put the kiss of death on his there. But he's sort of gradually easing in, little substitutions last year, coming on in European games, getting his feel at this particular level. And certainly he's got a lot of individual talent. He's got to akin that to very much the team structure of Bayern Munich, although Bayern Munich at the moment certainly are looking to find their best form.
I think it's for Liverpool. First nudge looked to be from Heskey to me, but that's not how the referee saw it. Owen. Babbel. On show. Niko Kovač. Bišćan got back to him, but then pulled him a bit. Thiam. No more substitutions for Bayern. Liverpool have one more that they can use. From Fowler, Redknapp, Vignal and Litmanen. Afraid that Arphexad is not likely to make it now. Hargreaves. Kovač. Hargreaves. Long for Jancker, too long.
Had much chance to show his aerial ability. That was a decent enough idea. Angled ball into the box, and then one or two were darting in to join the header back across the goal, but the original ball far too deep, and that probably summed up a lot of the shooting and the longer passing of Man United. Not found its target, has it?
Jancker. Sagnol. Into the last quarter of an hour of this 27th Super Cup final. Callister. Hamann did well. Thiam did not. And that youngster called McAllister was in on goal again.
Fancies the goal, doesn't he? Definitely still 3-1 starting forward. There's a couple of opportunities. That one just toe-ending it too hard again.
Bišćan. Babbel. Together. Hargreaves. Just who came across.
Lizarazu couldn't have shouted. Hargreaves knocked it where he saw him just a few seconds before. Gerard Houllier just making sure that his team doesn't slacken that grip. 3-1, pretty comfortable it's been, and they weathered what a 5-10 minute storm where Bayern Munich did. Just think they might get back into it once they got that one goal back, but it's not been proven the case. And Liverpool again showing their defensive mettle.
Owen. Bišćan. Some space, Owen. Babbel. Bišćan. Heskey in the middle. Danny Murphy. Thiam. Hargreaves. Go forward, Thiam. Played in midfield, albeit slightly a defensive member when he was playing with Stuttgart. The rival of Robbie Fowler. Certainly had a claim of the best goal of the UEFA Cup final in Dortmund. I think imminent.
Must mean a little break for that man who's chasing around trying to win possession, Michael Owen.
Hargreaves. Useful. Jancker waiting for the square ball.
That was a good ball from Hargreaves. Élber just got the wrong side. Fortunately, Jancker wanted it a bit earlier, but it just had to take 5 yards to catch it up. By then, the actual space to knock it back across was blocked out, and it got quashed at the near post.
Khan until Kovač turned. We're in the Liverpool half of the field. Hargreaves calling for it on the left. Now deciding to come in field. Left of the centre circle. Canisters. Owen. Murphy. Getting himself ahead of Linker. And Bišćan square. Canister. Owen. Keep ball session. Hamann. Fourth time these two sides have met in European competition. Last time was in the semi-final of the European Cup, old style, back in 80-81, 0-0 at Anfield and 1-1 in the same Munich stadium where England will play next Saturday. Élber. Jancker! And it's suddenly 3-2. And the ball seemed to be hanging for quite a long time in the 6-yard box, and Jancker made it his.
That's all he needs. He's so strong. Good little darting round by Santa Cruz. There he is, coming inside, looking up. Who can I play it to? Knocks it in. Élber just helps it on. And although it's a nothing hanging ball, his power, he backpedals then really into Babbel. He's close enough to goal. He's conscious that Westerveld is sort of half and half and just goes for a looping header towards the back post. Excellent play by the striker there. Look, he's being held by Babbel. Just does enough.
I'd be being unkind if I suggested that the goalkeeper at the other end would have come to get the ball. Bayern Munich 2, Liverpool 3. Seemed to walk over at the start of the second half. Now going to end in a bit of a nervous romp. Bayern, whatever happens, have saved their blushes a bit. The faces were as red as the shirts. It reached 3. As we look again, Jancker doing what one hopes he will not be allowed to do on Saturday week. Michael Owen is making his way to the touchline. Having given Germans a warning, and now Fowler will hope to do the same. They want us to substitute to very good effect in Dortmund. Niko Kovač has thought briefly about having a shot from distance, then I think. Completely down, plenty to find. In the end, it was Lizarazu.
Half-decent chance. It's the midfield Kovač who comes, puts a decent cross in, nobody deals with it, and fortunately Lizarazu doesn't quite make contact with his right foot, but he's edging forward. He's sensing that perhaps they could get an equaliser.
Plenty of noise now from both ends of the ground. Away by Hyypiä, then by Carragher.
Too far for Robbie Fowler. Good to see him back. Psychologically, I think good to get him on after the differences of a week or two ago. Played in the week, scored, and back into the fray. But certainly got to say at the most, Michael Owen, outstanding performance, and hopefully just smartening himself up to receive his man of the match trophy at the end of the game.
I suppose, having been together in Dortmund, Trevor, Lee and me, we should have learned by now not to make any assumptions from watching Liverpool playing European football. Here's Lizarazu, and Bišćan very untidy. A free kick given in Liverpool's way, because rather more was made of it in the end by Lizarazu. Oh yes, huge contact there. And the referee quite rightly gives the free kick the other way, and the Frenchman is lucky that he's not booked for diving.
There was a couple of little tugs further back, wasn't there? And then I think his legs just started to give way. It was a long, long run. He did well initially to get inside the scan, but at this stage of the season, probably the fitness just catching up on him.
Got forward well. Square ball really wasn't necessary. The further ball would have found McAllister, who gets it in the end. Heskey near post, Fowler far, he's unmarked! He doesn't make it count as he comes across the 6-yard line.
That was an excellent cross. Emile Heskey sacrificed himself at the near post. He knew beyond him Robbie Fowler would be unmarked. Just having to then come across the defender. Decided on the header rather than the volley. This is it. Danny Murphy releases Gary McAllister. Holds it up. You know, it's 2 against 1. He clears the near post man. Should do better, shouldn't he? Just the timing out. But Robbie Fowler, I'm sure, a bit frustrated. It would have been nice to see him on the score sheet.
Still has 4 minutes plus stoppage time to achieve that aim. Sagnol is the injured party who just saw getting up. This is a difficult one. And he gets a good punch in eventually, Vesterveld. Hyypiä was pleading for him to come and take the action. Oh, yeah. Hargreaves with the foul, and that is Thiam.
It's just Élber on the challenge, isn't it? Yeah, it's just Vesterveld did very well. I think it's just the knee then into his side. Look, as he goes up, he's got his knee up, and it's that goes into the side of Élber.
There's a problem on the thigh. As far as the commentator is concerned, problem with the close-up of the face. Brazilian looking a little in pain. The substitutions allowed have been made. Hamann to take the free kick. At the end of the 43rd minute of the second half. Carragher. This is Thiam. Carragher has had a good game again. Still with much to offer. Bišćan. Well, zipped off the turf. He's trying to give it a little touch on. Heskey got a little luck then. Well, there's no reason why the throw shouldn't have been taken. He'd actually left the pitch. Jancker is offside. Very clearly it's recovered. Jancker and Babbel. Babbel got nowhere near making a header. Bišćan. Osho. Fowler. Understandable, but he does give the impression when he comes on as a late substitute of trying too hard. He wants 90 minutes into the time that he's allowed. And the ball being held aloft. 3 minutes of stoppage time and we've moved into it. 3-2 for Liverpool lead. And supporters haven't given it up.
They've just got to keep their concentration. Don't want any golden goal chances.
It was very late on that young Grégory Vignal made it all square in Dortmund. Assistant referee's got a very good view of this tangle, from which in the end Bayern have won a corner.
Well, they got their first goal from the other side, flat marking. One or two big players up there. Let's see. Kahn is going up. Here he goes. Look, hold it.
Oliver Kahn on his way across the 18-yard line, just making his presence felt. Still in possession of Bayern, and Kahn decides he's going to stay forward.
He's been watching Barclays, hasn't he?
And Schmeichel. But here's Jancker. All a bit untidy. Kahn is still sort of half forward, but not sure whether he should be. Free kick. He'll stay forward now.
I was going to say, have a shot for Liverpool. But in fact, they can see here he is. He's back in there. I wonder if he's going to get picked up by anyone.
Hargreaves again. Oh. And a little bit of extra pushing. Oh, and reaction a little unnecessary from Heskey.
Did we get a flick of the boot from Kahn as he was jogging out? It was Kahn and then had a little kick out because I think you find that Emile Heskey clattered him a bit when he came out. And you watch it now. Those are the two that are on it. They go down and actually Kahn sort of tugs him down, but it's when they get up. We haven't seen that, but it's when they get up that Oliver Kahn actually then has a little flick of the leg as they stand up, and now action replay doesn't show either of those.
Not under our control, of course. Covered by TV3. France. They are in fact in the Principality of Monaco. Santa Cruz puts his shirt over his head as he realizes he's spoiled good intentions. 2:52 and counting.
Yeah, lovely balance from Santa Cruz. I mean, he went past the defender superb. He just picked the wrong option then. Actually, there was a couple of players just to the left of him, but he certainly got some good individual skills, no question of that.
Just 20. Shot of slightly anxious Gerard Houllier, and disappointed I think it's going to be Ottmar Hitzfeld. He certainly has been for most of the game. Liverpool in no hurry to take the free kick. We've had the 3 minutes shown on the board. The Portuguese referee has a look at the watch, and the Portuguese referee signals that yet another trophy is going to Anfield, to Liverpool Football Club, to the League Cup, to the FA Cup, to the UEFA Cup, to the Charity Shield. Is now added the European Super Cup.
I hope they got room for them, can't you? They've got enough going, haven't they? Now they might need an extension with a new stand, get them all in.
Although a couple of slight hiccups, it looked to be very, very easy when Owen scored the third. 13 seconds, I think it was, into the second half, but wasn't quite so easy after that for a while. Franz Beckenbauer, president of Bayern Munich, looking disappointed. Yes, indeed is Oliver Kahn. But another success for Liverpool, and a marker put down for the challenges to come.
I think it was an excellent performance, 3-2. I think slightly, well, certainly flattered Bayern Munich. Really, they certainly had their pride to play for. They got one back and then looked as if Liverpool had weathered the storm. The second goal then, a couple of anxious seconds late on, but I thought for the first out, they were excellent English team. Played very well. Michael Owen outstanding. Good to see Gerrard playing well for over an hour, and certainly again Heskey having a full match as well would have done those three a lot of good with what's coming up in just over a week's time.
Well, it makes it 15 games unbeaten for Liverpool, 14 wins and 1 draw. They haven't lost since Leeds came to Anfield on April the 13th and beat them and put in doubt Liverpool's place in the Champions League. And how things have changed and how well Liverpool have done. All the trophies coming their way. This is the smallest of the Europeans. It only weighs 5 kilos. Another Liverpool success. Let's get an inside view of how it was achieved as Garth Crooks has with him Emile Heskey.
Emile, congratulations, a wonderful performance. It seemed as though you've really dominated this game and won quite convincingly.
Yeah, you know, having gone 3-1 up, we did take our foot off the pedal a little bit. Maybe we shouldn't have, you know, because they were a very good side and they looked like they was going to get back into it. But our defence played brilliant, you know, Sami Hyypiä, you know, Stéphane Henchoz, and even the goalie, you know, they all done their part, and we kept them at bay.
I can't remember when I saw you take a goal as coolly as you took your goal tonight.
Yeah, it was nice to get a goal, you know, to put us 2-0 up. You know, so and then Michael took his as well, so it was like 3-1 up, 3-0 up really, you know, and really just cruising. Like I said, we took our foot off the pedal a little bit, and maybe we shouldn't have, you know.
Gerard, please come and join us. Many congratulations. It seemed as though the performance was every bit as good as the result.
Well, the players who deserve the credit, not the manager. I mean, in a game like that, when the heat, I think they deserve a lot of congratulations.
It seemed as though the Bayern Munich couldn't cope with this young man's power and Owen's pace.
I think they had a lot of difficulty, in fact, to cope with both their pace and also their ability, because it's not only pace, it's also skill. We knew that, and I mean, you have to take into account the fact that Bayern Munich reached the final 2 years ago, got into the final of the Champions League last year and won it this year. So, I mean, it's quite a good performance for us.
I know it was a friendly, but let's put it in perspective. You've just dismissed the former European champions a month ago and the current European champions. What's the message here, Gerard?
The message is that we've got a team that when they want something, and with the unity and the trust about themselves, I'm sure they can achieve a lot of things.
we're obviously very concerned about the forthcoming game against Germany. Emile and Michael look fantastic together up front.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't think about that today. I mean, that's Sven's job. This is not our job. We just focus on the game. And I'm pleased to say that this is the 5th trophy practically in a few months, and the players are very proud of that, for the fans, for the club, and I think they deserve something special today.
Many, many congratulations to both of you. Well done.
While the dais is in position and the goals are being replayed as we wait for the players to come and gain their awards, but we look down as the Bayern Munich players will come first. The losers, always the first team up in European competition, come the start of it. And Johansson, the president of UEFA, and the chief executive, Gerhard Eigner, to present the consolation prizes. And Élber leads up Bayern Munich. Swede and a German, of course. Eigner, a German. Both the Kovač brothers, starting with runners-up medals. Jancker, just showing what he can do, gives England a warning. Lizarazu follows him. Sami Hyypiä, who lifted Bayern from what seemed to be total despair at one stage. Owen Hargreaves, Pizarro, Thiam, and the reserve players coming forward. Man who didn't play but would certainly tighten their defence, Kufur. And then Fink, the battler in midfield, has been for many moons, it seems. Sagnol. And Oliver Kahn, the man England have to beat come Saturday week. The unused substitutes. And now the officials from Portugal, who are treated in this country and by supporters worldwide in the same fashion. But after Ottmar Hitzfeld, who has won the European Cup with Borussia Dortmund and with Bayern Munich, and it was being suggested that if he came to Manchester United it would give him a chance to win it with 3 different clubs. But Franz Beckenbauer insisting that he would not be leaving and that his task was to defend the European Cup for Bayern Munich. Suggestion early on that the side wasn't as good, but it's been an uncertain start to their season, and maybe they'll pick up, probably will. The Portuguese officials, not a difficult game. 4th official who held the board aloft and had to do very little. There's Beckenbauer and his wife looking on, as they will be Munich and Bavaria, his homeland. He's not used to being a runner-up. Lizarazu. And the announcement of the man of the match you've probably heard, and it's no great surprise, and it's thoroughly deserved. Michael Owen. And I keep harping on about Saturday week, but it's understandable and forgivable surely. If he is the man of the match come Saturday week, England will be quids in, that's for sure. So now the Liverpool team to come forward, and they're certainly getting used to this. Birmingham City, Arsenal, Alaves, Manchester United, and now Bayern Munich are beaten by them. Jaime Carragher, the first to come forward. The presentation of the cup, of course, comes right at the end. The club captain this time was on the field in terms of being in the squad rather than sitting in the stand, Jaime Redknapp. But claim the cup again. The stoic expression from Beckenbauer, smile from Westerveld, young Riese getting a goal on his old hunting ground. Hyypiä and Redknapp at the end of the line. Another award for Michael Owen. Dietmar Hamann in the opposition next week. Gary McAllister being watched by his former international team manager. McAllister pulling out of the Scottish side, but how they could do with him this form. Arphexad, Vignal, Litmanen and Jaime Redknapp. And Hyypiä at the end of the line, captained the side today, so it looks as though he's going to carry the trophy. Robbie Fowler. And we wait for Gérard Houllier to get his award. UEFA do like to prolong these things. Time was when the trophy was won and the losers applauded the winners. Remember those days at Wembley? Not so long ago. So, another piece of silver for the Anfield showcase. It is presented to, well, you tell me, finally, Jaime Redknapp, Sami Hyypiä and Robbie Fowler. The trio take the award. Liverpool take the Super Cup.
Interesting presentation, the trophy there at the end, but 5 trophies in 6 months for Liverpool. It's all right for you two. That's more than I won in my whole 17-year career.
It was an excellent performance. It was a great game. You've got to give Bayern Munich credit for coming back into it. But for Liverpool, the front two were fantastic. These players got a taste of winning trophies, and you've got dreams and aspirations. Set your standards high. Let's go and win the Premiership and the Champions League.
Came back at them though, didn't they?
Yeah, well, you expect them to come back as well, because Liverpool had won the game, I think, after an hour. And as Alan rightly says, that the pace and the power, and as Gérard Houllier also said, the skill of the front two were a massive difference between the two sides.
Well, we better see how they did it then.
Well, they're absolutely explosive, the front two for Liverpool. Great pass from Gerrard. Owens onto it quick. Spots Riese coming at the back post, and it's a brilliant ball in, and he just can't miss.
The time of the ball from Gerrard is here as well. I mean, first touch, out your feet, knock it early. When Michael Owen loves to have it, you know, he's got all the time to look up while he gets it under control. Riese is in there and stick that one away, and I mean, it was only what Liverpool deserved.
This is a Heskey goal. Count how many challenges here. None. And I'll tell you why, because
he loves that. Even I can count to none.
None. But the finish was absolutely exquisite. And he's against the best keeper in the world as well.
It took them slightly by surprise, if they weren't quite sure he was going to pick him up, so he burst through the two of them. But that's a finish I didn't think he was capable of producing.
Michael Owen got the goal he deserved.
And you nominated it, didn't you? Ball over the top, he's onto it quick. Tremendous pace. And we said, when he comes up against Can one-on-one, what will he do? He put in the bottom corner. And the first touch was fantastic, and a great finish again.
I can't believe you've not lambasted the six.
Well,
for that.
I'm leaving him alone.
Well, you're obviously being
not
nice,
that I ain't commenting.
That's unbelievable. But again, super finish, hit it very, very early. But
and then the game's over, or so you think. And it's decent ball in, good header, but where was the challenge again? No challenge whatsoever. Maybe a bit complacent, sitting back.
Salihamidžić.
I think did well to get that out as well.
Just reading it here, make sure.
Sander Westerveld, I think, thought it was going over, and I thought he did really well here, Jancker, to get this in. Real, very, very strong, great strength.
Shades of Uwe Zayler.
Yeah, remember that back header? We can remember that, Mexico 1970, was it?
But you're up against Babbel, who's really, really strong. The keeper can't come for this.
No.
It's a brilliant header, and he's so strong.
And
at that stage, just starting to panic
a bit. Just a few nervy moments at the end.
First English side to win 5 trophies in the calendar year, according to Albert.
Not bad, is it?
It's a terrific achievement. And congratulations to the manager as well.
Excellent effort. Now Alan and myself are clocking off, but Loro here So on overtime, he's doing a live webcast with Ray Stubbs at 10 o'clock. What on earth is that?
Apparently it's the future, which is why you two aren't involved. And there's our address, www.bbc.co.uk/football.
Is there any way we can own it? Please let us own it.
You two Herberts will be down the pub just as we're starting. No betting at Pontefract.
And you wish you were with us.
Yeah.
OK, that's it from us. Liverpool have yet another trophy. The English team have won 3-2. Take that next week. See you then.